Hello everyone and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And yes, I know today is the third Tonkotsu review in a row, but I promise if you're a fan of Tonkotsu ramen, you are going to want to know about this one. This product is a collaboration between Marutai and a Fukuoka ramen shop called Ganso Nagahama-ya, and it is a fancy Tonkotsu ramen. Before we begin, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my reviews and want to see more. Now, I reviewed 3 of Marutai's restaurant collaboration products last year, and they are pretty much the tastiest things I've ever eaten from Marutai, although they are a little bit pricey for obvious reasons. The restaurant needs a cut too. This one comes from a no-frills old-school ramen shop in Fukuoka called Ganso Nagahama-ya, and from what I can read about it on Google, it's been a local favorite since 1952. And their style of tonkotsu is typical of the area: thin noodles, super rich broth, with a creamy, slightly sweet finish, and lots of good toppings specific to this shop, which you will see replicated in this pack. If you're looking to buy this for yourself, I was able to get it on yamibuy.com for about $4 on sale. And unlike other Marutai varieties where you get 2 servings per pack, this one is a single serving for that price. But isn't $4 worth it to get a taste of a ramen shop on the other side of the world? I think so. Let's get right into the ingredients of this because that's where this pack really sets itself apart from other products. But first, the bad news, the sodium. This has a salt equivalent of 7.1 grams, which makes it one of the saltiest reviews I've ever done. That converts to about 2,800 milligrams of sodium for those of you keeping track. That is quite a bit. If you have sodium issues and you still want to go forward with buying this, please do not drink all the broth. That is a crazy amount of salt there. All right, inside we've got these ultra thin wheat noodles, which are in the style of the Ganso Nagahama-ya shop. And we've got 3 packets. In here we've got a liquid broth packet, which contains pork extract, some seasoning oil, soy sauce, and various unlisted spices. Then we've got this dried topping pack that contains sesame seeds, green onion, and pork. Yes, there's actual dehydrated seasoned pork in this. And then we've got a separate pouch of pickled red ginger for a garnish. And I gotta say, this is by far the fanciest Marutai ramen that I've seen, thanks to all of these toppings. Now, this only needs a 90-second boil for the noodles because they're so thin, and then you add in the dried toppings and the soup base at the end. So I will go quickly cook these noodles, and I will be right back for the rest. Okay, and here are the noodles. Wonderful looking as always, and they have a very pronounced fresh wheat aroma, which I really enjoy. So let's get the other ingredients in here while it's still hot. That smells wonderful. And as you might be able to tell, there's a nice glob of coagulated fat in there that we're going to stir into this that, in my experience, is going to give this broth an incredible body. The other fancy tonkotsu restaurant collaborations from Marutai also have that sort of congealed fat in the liquid pouch. It's nothing to worry about. Ichiran Instant Ramen has it too. Fat is flavor, my friends. Okay. As you can see, we've got a beautiful rich broth here. And now let's get these dried ingredients in here. Yeah, check that out. Actual slices of pork. I would have thought that I was supposed to boil those with the noodles, but the instructions are pretty clear. You add them in at the end. So I'm assuming because they're so thin, they're going to rehydrate pretty quickly in the hot water. All right, I am going to hold off on adding the pickled ginger just a second so I can try the broth without it. I don't love pickled ginger myself. I'm pretty glad it's separate from the rest of this. I will taste it all together in a second, but I want to know what the broth tastes like without it first. Oh my God. Holy shit, that's good. Okay. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if pickled ginger is going to make this better or worse to me, but I'm going to eat it as the restaurant intended it. Yeah, smells like pickled ginger. It's not too strong. I guess it could be a lot worse. All right, so it doesn't look as pretty as what you get in a restaurant, but believe it or not, this is exactly how a bowl of ramen from Ganso Nagahama-ya comes. Green onions, sesame seeds, sliced pork, and pickled ginger. That's it. Obviously, you can add your own ingredients to this if you want to put egg or additional pork, chicken, nori, fish cake, whatever. But this is effectively replicating the actual restaurant experience, which I'm super excited about. So let's try all this together. Wow. 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 Noodle score first. You already know what I'm going to say. 10 out of 10, no question about it. Even though these are super thin, thinner than anything I've had from Marutai before, they still have a nice bouncy texture to them. They're a perfect example of what an instant ramen noodle can be. Wonderful. The spiciness is a 0 out of 10, unless you find the flavor of pickled ginger to be like tangy to you. In that case, you can just omit the ginger if you want, but this isn't spicy by most standards. And so now the overall score. I was a tiny bit worried when I was reading up about the Ganso Nagahama-ya restaurant before doing this review, and I'll explain why. A few people said that it's kind of a hole in the wall as far as ramen shops go, and that it can come off a bit too traditional and boring for some ramen aficionados. One review on TripAdvisor actually described the ramen as rough and not refined. Their words, not mine. It's been in business a very long time, making pretty much the same recipes since the 1950s, so I understand the accusation that it's not modern enough. But all that is to say, I was wondering if that would mean that this would turn out to be just an okay bowl of noodles, even though it's from my favorite manufacturer. Nope. If this is what traditional and boring tastes like, then sign me up. This is phenomenal. Absolutely stellar. I try not to get into absolutes with most reviews, but this might be the best instant tonkotsu I have had to date. And the previous best instant tonkotsu I ever had also came from Marutai, their Kumamoto black garlic variety or that Ikosha collaboration. Either of those two were my top spot before now. This combination of the broth flavor and the toppings, one of which I don't actively like normally, that combination's perfect. What's extra cool is the authenticity, that this is exactly what you get if you went to the shop and ordered a bowl of ramen. The broth is super well balanced. It's umami, a little sweet, satisfyingly salty, a good tinge of garlic and sesame flavor in here. And then the quality of the green onions are super oniony. They've got a nice tender quality to them. And then these great little slices of thin seasoned pork come along and give you some excellent pork flavor and texture. No, these don't taste like jerky. They rehydrate really quickly in the hot water. They're not gamey, they're not tough. They're great. And the red ginger pieces, like, I don't even like red ginger that much, like I said, but it is such a nice contrasting flavor to the rest of the ingredients. Just this terrific briny sweetness that goes really well with this broth. I was apprehensive about throwing the entire pack in, but I'm glad I did. There is nothing to complain about here in the slightest. This is one of the easiest 10 out of 10 perfect scores I've ever given on this channel. It is incredibly flavorful and pretty unique as far as instant tonkotsu goes. Absolutely mind-blowing. If you are a fiend for instant tonkotsu, this is the one to buy, at least until I find my next favorite to recommend. If you can order this online or find it in a store, depending on where you live, just go for it and thank me later. This is honestly the best I've had and is worth the extra couple of dollars it'll cost you compared to Marutai's other already terrific varieties. If you do try this or have even been to the real restaurant, please leave me some comments and tell me all about it. And so that's the last of this year's tonkotsu varieties from Marutai, but I do have one very last interesting product from them coming up in the next video, so I hope you'll check that out. Remember to check out my old Marutai reviews too if you haven't already done so, and so you can see what all the fuss is about. I'll see you again real soon here on Noodle Journey.